Hey guys, welcome back to Woods Tree Farm. I'm Phil, and today I'm going to be planting 8,000 square feet of sunflowers by hand. Stick around, it's going to be a fun one. I shared with you guys in a previous video, we've got a section of our Christmas tree field here that has lost all of its trees, actually a couple plantings worth of trees. We kept putting trees in there year after year after year, and they kept dying and dying and dying. So we are not planting anything else in there right now. We have tilled that up and it is ready for sunflowers. We're going to amend that soil for a couple seasons, and then we'll try some trees there again. When we plowed that field, we saw that there were actually quite a few grubs in the soil, and maybe that contributed to the tree losses that we had. So we have put down some insecticide to try to treat that, and what I have in the truck now will get us started on the sunflower stuff. So you look here, we've got everything we need. We've got our bag of seed. This is actually black oil sunflower seeds that we had left over from last season. Mice got into it a little bit over the winter, but there's plenty of good seed in there, and hopefully it germinates and does well for us. I've got a custom blend of fertilizer in here. This is based on our soil test results, and I mix that up myself. I've done a previous video on how I go about mixing up seed, or rather mixing up fertilizer, so you can go back and check that out. I'll put a link in this video's description if you're interested in seeing that. And what else we got here? We got our bag spreader, because we're going to use that for the fertilizer. I've got about 15 pounds of fertilizer here, and that is going to be plenty for our little 8,000 square foot patch. And then I've got my garden seeder here, which I've showed on previous videos. We got this secondhand a couple years ago for like, I don't know, 50 bucks maybe, and it has done really well for us, though it's starting to get a couple little issues just because it's old and some of the plastic on it has gotten brittle and it's gotten cracked. But totally worth it to go and buy a new one, which I think right now are about $150, $160. When this one finally gives it up, we are definitely going to invest in another one of these. And this is probably the largest patch that I've done with this, so it'll be interesting to see how tired I am afterwards. But let me get everything set up here and we'll get to work. So you can see here on the seed plate, I've got some black electrical tape covering up some of the holes. Now this is tape that was on here from last year. Some of it is lifting, so I think I'm going to pull this plate real quick and try to put some fresh tape on there. Now this is the plate that's labeled for beets, Swiss chard, and it's made for slightly smaller seeds. They make all sorts of different size plates. This one's labeled for sweet corn, but the cup on this one's much larger. And this one, for example, is for leeks, asparagus, and spinach, really small. And you can see there's more holes on this one, so it's made to put seed in the ground a lot closer. So I've done videos before of these earthway seeders and how we set it up and all that kind of stuff. If you're interested in seeing that, I'll put a link in this video's description. You can go back and watch that. If you want to buy one of these seeders, you'll help us out by purchasing it through our Amazon affiliate links, and I will put one of those as a top comment on this video, and you can go and click that and check it out. We appreciate you supporting us through purchases through those links. That's awesome. I'm going to be leaving about a mower's width of space in between our last row of trees over here and my first row of sunflowers, so that's why you'll see me starting off several feet inside of where I've tilled here. I want to make sure there's a nice border all the way around so we can get through here with a mower. So 12 rows in, that took me about 15 minutes. Did work up a little bit of sweat, took a break, got some water before I turned the camera back on because I didn't want to get on the camera all out of breath, but it looks pretty good to me. That's 150-foot rows, 12 rows. Spacing should be about 6 to 8 inches, and that could be upwards of 2,700, 2,800 blooms. But my plan is to actually get more than that because I'm going to come back in about 10 days or so, maybe a week. We'll see how the germination goes. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to put in some additional rows in the other direction and just try to get as many blooms in here as we can. I left my spacing pretty far. It's almost 2 feet per row on average. Some maybe a little bit more, some maybe a little bit less. But that is a little bit spaced out for sunflowers. But it's been my plan all along to come back in and put down some additional seed and fill this plot in. And that will also give us an extended bloom duration if we have multiple plantings in here to get plants to come up at different rates. So that's all part of the plan, and I'll keep you guys posted on a future video of how all that turns out. And I got a lot more flower work to do. And just to kind of fill you in, I shared with you a little while ago planting a buckwheat patch over on our new flower patch, which is across the pond in that direction. It has been a pretty dry spring so far, so the germination on that has not been that great. I expected to have 6 to 8 inch plants by now, and stuff is really just starting to emerge. I've got little 2-inch plants right now. So that's a little bit disappointing because we wanted to try to have a field full of white buckwheat flowers by early May. Early May is right around the corner. That is not going to happen. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see how that develops in the coming weeks. And then as soon as that crop is done, we're going to have to start turn it around and start planting our flowers for our peak flower season. So that's all coming up on future videos. If that's interesting to you and you don't already subscribe, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get plugged in with all of our future updates. And hope to see you around the channel again in the future. I'm going to wrap this up for today. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video.